every day to tell you a different opinion about you, and you will be criminally insane. You'll be nuts by the end of the week trying to be popular. I'd rather you respect me and learn to like me than like me and never respect me. So here's a different text, a context. Number one, number two, number three, it's all the same. Why do I feel the way I feel? One, because God is love, love is God, and God loves all of his children. Not his black children, not his white children, not his Jewish children, not his Asian children, not his Latino children, not his Indian children. We're all his children. And if you're black and you think you're better or special, or you're just like the preferred victim, then there's something really sick and wrong with you. That was wrong. You need to call it for what it is. Here's the reason, strategically. You're a minority in America. The only way a minority can win anything is with a moral high ground. What did Michelle Obama say? When they go low, we go high. She was brilliant when she said that, right? I hope you got what she was saying. It's the same thing that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, the same thing that Andrew Young said, the same thing that Gandhi said in India, the same thing that Mandela said in South Africa. My hero and friend, Desmond Tutu. God bless him. He's in the hospital right now. We should all pray for his soul. He's done so much for humanity. The only way a minority group wins, wins its battle is to take the high road. You've got to take the moral high ground, which means you've got to call things for what they are. And you can't say that somebody's not wrong just because they look like you. Because if that was a black woman, a black elderly 84-year-old woman, and 4 white young brutes went into her house in the middle of the night, who knew who she was beforehand, worked in her house, picked grapes on her property, which is the case here, act like that they were friends, and then burned her to death, beat her to a pulp, didn't just rob her, broke every bone in her body, we'd be saying that's we, African American in this example, and there's a number of races on my page, hopefully it's global by the way, so there's all races and people, but for my African American brothers and sisters, we'd be protesting. We'd have a vigil. We'd be calling this racism. And racism is not just white folks doing something to black folks. Racism is a sickness, people. It's a sickness, and anybody can get sick. Put on a jacket and bundle up, or you may catch it too. We need a new way. We need to take the high ground. We need to call things for what they are, because then you don't have any. When you don't do that, you have no credibility. And why I keep telling you to stop being emotional, to respond and not react, is when you react and when you become angry and you say all police are evil, all white people are the devil, that all white people are racist, blah, 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 blah. Not only is that not right, and you know it's not right, right? That's not as if all black people are angels, okay? Yeah, we're fantastic, but you know, you got a boo-boo in your own family, cousin boo-boo. And by the way, you gotta have a sense of humor about everything. Learn to laugh at yourself. But not only is that just incorrect, but then you give your so-called opponent no dignified place to hide. Why would they respond to you? Why would they try to help you? You made yourself unlikable. You told them you don't like them. So now you have a standoff. And let me tell you one other fact. There's never been a terrorist group. There's never been a radicalized group that looked for a revolution through taking up arms in a negative way to fight their oppressor, right? In the history of the world that won. In the history of all modern times, there's never been a radical group of terrorists or those with an evil plan to fight so-called injustice as they saw it, that won that way, ever. Even the dudes in Ireland who have been fighting for 50 years are still fighting. And they don't consider themselves terrorists at all. They think they're fighting a good fight, and they may be. But that they've had to come to the negotiating table, which is where they really made progress, because they realized at some point evolution is more powerful than revolution. I'm trying to encourage you to just think differently. Reimagine your mind. Reimagine how you approach your problems. Go over mess, not in it. Don't win the battle and lose the war. Or as Natasha told me one day, we're not just rearranging the deck chairs in the Titanic and picking drapes while we're sinking. We want to know who did it. It's a conspiracy. Who sunk the Titanic, right? We want to know who did it. We're obsessed with who did it. That's depression. That's depression. Let's find our light again. Because when you see a light in the distance, you got to decide whether you're going to light a candle or curse the darkness. When you see injustice, you got to decide whether you're going to light a candle or curse the darkness. The only way a minority group wins, I'm going to define winning before I finish, by the way, is by taking the moral high ground. That's the only way you win. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. I know it seems unfair, but that's the only way you win. And this is not a testament. This is not a judgment. This is not a question for those who are backwards. God knows they're backwards. This is a test for you. God is trying to figure out whether you're ready for battle. Rainbows only follow storms, and loss creates leaders. And you can't grow except through legitimate suffering. You cannot grow except through legitimate suffering. So what are you going to do? How are you going to respond or just react? Let me tell you how you win. But here's what winning looks like. Talk without being offensive. Listen without being defensive. And always leave even your adversary with their dignity. Because if you don't, they'll spend the rest of their life trying to make you miserable. And what's a great bad example of this? Israel and Palestine. It's clear that Palestine should have its own country, its own state. It's clear. Right? But we keep this eye for an eye, and now everybody's blind. And this has been going on since, and by the way, it's a family feud. Abraham had both children, and the Arab child felt dignified, and it has been taking it out, the sense of indignity ever since. And we can't get to the facts because it's so emotional, and now I hit you, you hit me back, I'm gonna kill you, you kill me back. That has not been, it's so far from resolution. It is probably one of the most obviously unresolvable crisis in the world today, and it's been almost 2,000 years. So let's get on with it, people. Let's try to find a new way. All right. When somebody breaks in your house at midnight, you really do want the police to show up to save your family. So let's not say all of them are crooks and criminals. And by the way, thank God the lady was indicted. The officer was indicted within a week's time of that absolutely atrocious shooting of that unarmed man. So there is justice. And justice is not just us. Okay? So we're all God's children. We're all in this thing together. Find the high ground. Find some reason to let somebody want to rally to your position of greatness. And when you see wrong, call it out for what it is. It's wrong, and it's not less wrong because you're in pain. All right, I'm I'm out. Yep. I'm almost out. Hold on a minute. Natasha saying something to me.
Addressing the whole Islam so it seems to be able to relate because
Oh yeah, so the comments were saying, "Oh, this is a rich dude, and he's, he don't relate to our pain." I saw my uncle murdered in front of me. He was hit by a drunk driver, black. He was black, hit by a black drunk driver in front of me when I was 6 years old, I think it was. No, that was in South Central, on my front step, and they drug him down the street in front of me on his bicycle. And murdered him. And he murdered him because my uncle was trying to make a few extra dollars. And versus, trying to come to my father and get a job or whatever, he had pride, I guess, and he went to sell some drugs. And he hadn't done it before and wasn't very good at it. And he went into somebody else's territory, another brother, and the brother decided to take him out to send a message, and they ran him down and murdered him in front of me, in front of my front doorstep. Do I now say that all black people or whatever or something? No, I say that was an idiot. He happened to be black. He killed my uncle, and he needs to be prosecuted. But I love black people. So when a white person does the same thing, I don't say all white people are the devil. I say that white person or that person needs to be prosecuted, but I still love white people, right? My next door neighbor was Tweet, a brother. My best friend George in Compton, California, was black, a brother. And George was smarter than me. I had a C grade average, C plus. George had an A grade point average. I wanted to be like George. Unfortunately, George wanted to be like Tweet. George hung around Tweet and got shot and killed like Tweet. I've been seeing death all my entire life. I had prison, probation, parole, and death on all four corners of my block growing up in Compton, California. My mother had an 11th grade education, went back at 63 years of age and got her high school diploma, go Juanita Smith, right? But she didn't complain, say she was a victim. She went and got herself justice and some education. Now she's bought and sold 5 homes, is financially independent, and is living her own dream because she decided not to be a victim. My dad had an 8th grade education, both of them from the Deep South, came and made a life for themselves. And I built me from zero, right? Zero. Go look at my story. I was homeless for 6 months of my life. Don't be talking about I'm some rich dude, right? Homeless for 6 months of my life when I was 18 years old. Built me from nothing. Had a GED degree from a high school. Chris Rock calls it a good enough diploma. And now I'm running a global enterprise. I'm sitting here talking to you from France. I just decided I wasn't a victim. I just decided that I was going to step over mess and not end it. I'm trying to give you the same business plan that worked for me and trying to give it to you in mass. But if you don't want to listen, I can't shove it down your throat. And I'm not going to shove it down your throat because I'm not trying to be a politician. I'm not really looking for your favor. I'm just trying to help you help yourself. And I love you. Yeah.
And you're not trying to be a pastor.
And what?
And you're not trying to be a pastor.
I'm not trying to be a pastor, politician, whatever. This is, by the way, this is Natasha giving me cues. Here she is. Say hello. All right, so I love you guys. I will respond to comments. In case you didn't think I was married to a black woman, she said. Okay. That's be the next criticism. We married some French woman, which wouldn't be a bad thing, by the way. Okay. Sandy Lewis, thank you. That is God in your life. Thank you. The real, wow, that's deep, bro. Jamasina Richardson, thanks for sharing. Ivy Lynette Walker, I'm all ears, John. Patricia Du Bois, thank you, John. By the way, you guys who are agreeing with me, please go on my page, go to this article I'm talking about, and weigh in your comments. A lot of the problems in the world is that good people don't raise their voice. They just sit on their hands and let bad people run their mouth. And when you got some idiot running their mouth and saying some, I mean, again, I don't care if somebody sits on top of me. I'm doing fine. I know who I am, right? But it discourages good people from standing up, and because we want things to be popular. But success and leadership is very rarely popular. Let me tell you something. I was going to do this as a separate video, but I'm going to do it right now. Natasha doesn't like me saying this because it deals with the concept of death, my own, right? Let me tell you something. Dr. King once said, you may be able to take my life, but you can't kill me. In fact, you can't even take my life. I've got to freely give it. You know, we talk about Jesus Christ. He didn't die of old age. We killed him. We admire all these people. We talked about Malcolm X. We quote him. He didn't die of old age. We killed him. We killed him. Black people killed Malcolm X in Harlem, in front of his family, in broad daylight with 3 shotguns. Because he was saying things that were inconvenient to our pain, but it was real. Because he went to Mecca and found that all people who were Muslim weren't black, and all white people weren't the devil. Came back and said all white people weren't the devil. He was dead within 2 weeks because he was inconvenient to some people's business plan. Dr. Martin King Jr., we all cite how wonderful he is, and we killed that man. We killed him all. In fact, he was stabbed by a black woman with a letter opener in Harlem before he was ever assassinated. He was that close to death. That was a sister that killed him, that almost killed him. Sikh, Gandhi, we killed him. Truth be told, there were assassination attempts on Nelson Mandela. If you ever hear, she doesn't really like me saying this, you ever hear 15 years from now, we had success with the movement, civil rights is abounding, people going to school, people becoming homeowners and entrepreneurs and small business owners, GDP growing in our communities, crime going down, hope's going up, everything's prosperous, we're doing well, we are owning things, we're voting, we are filled with love, the hate is draining, we are getting along with each other, it's all good, right? You ever hear that somehow something happened to me 15 years from now? You don't have to go to the white Klansman. No. You don't have to go to the white capitalist. You don't have to go to the black capitalist. No, go to the drug dealer. Because, you say, look, John, we love you, man. You all good, but you messing up our customers. They got hope and shit. They want to go to school. They're not buying no drugs. They ain't selling no drugs. They want hope and shit. We love you, and we love our kids to be down with that, but we not down with that because you messing with our business plan. All I'm saying is, it's what Bill Clinton quote. It's hard to get somebody to agree to the truth when the lie is paying their paycheck. So that's about as real as I can get to you. I'm not afraid of anything except living a lie. I'm not perfect. I screw up every day. A saint is a sinner that got up. But am I doing the very best I can every day to do the very best I can? Yes, I am. And am I trying to speak my truth to you and share it with you as best I can? And I might be faulty and I might be incorrect. Or put it another way, I may not be right, but I am not wrong. Our business plan is not working, folks. It's not working for black America. It's not working for white America. It's not even working for America. It's not working for the world because it's built on hate and fear. And God is the opposite. Yes, you were saying.
I said it's not going to be a drug dealer. It's going to take you out.
Oh, she says it's not going to be a drug dealer that takes me out. Anyway, that's another conversation another time. She may take me out. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Anybody who's married knows that was a funny joke. All right. L.A.B. Davis, that's real. Ebony Butts, living is reality. Dave Cameron, they tried to kill Bob Marley in Jamaica when he tried to open their eyes. Yeah, true. Let me see here. Jesse Billings, I don't think we are a minority. I don't think most sane people approve of criminal actions. I do understand we are on the... Okay, I'll read that later. It seems very long. I hope this has been helpful. I will do a more professional video a little later on the Civil Rights series. I just wanted to weigh in on this because, you know, I felt it needed an address, and I didn't want to be one of those people who shriek just because it's not popular, right? I want you to know I'm going to weigh in even when something, it doesn't look like it's going in my favor. You need to know I'm still all in. Both feet, unbossed, unbiased, nonpartisan, coming at you straight and no chaser. By the way, it's on straight, no chaser, and unbiased. What party am I from? I'm from the Get It Done party. So people say, oh, you know, he's for Hillary. Yeah. No, I'm for common sense, okay? Yeah, she's my friend. Yeah, the family's my friend, but I don't vote for my friends. I vote for somebody who's going to help lead our country. I'm not going to tell you who I'm voting for. But if the choice is the idiot man, whose name I'm not going to mention, who absolutely is concerned about nobody but himself, and made it very clear he is an absolute thief, and means you no good, then there is no choice. If there's two choices and he's one of them, it answers itself. And he will break America. He will take us back at least 100 years. This is the most important vote in 100 years. And I don't know about you, when I get to the pearly gates, and I'm talking to God, I'm going to have an answer about what I did. Peace out. Love you. Make a great day.